Let's keep it on the board here, at least for now. Speaking about the bans, a couple more support bans taken off here against Wolf, and of course those mid lane bans you were talking about, Cassiopeia. The counter to Rise also getting strong, taken away. And SKT reading into this going to ban a third support, perhaps thinking that Kingzone would pick it here with their first pick after the second ban phase.
Yeah, Taric is conspicuously available, but will actually find it hard to really be powerful. And Taric Cog is a pretty weak 2v2 lane. Now this would be some power in the 2v2. They're going to lock in Thresh. Gorilla returning to an old favorite of his, a range support, to add a bit more pressure. And SKT, now they do have a Taric draft, and I think they will go Taric for just a bit more of team fight guarantee. So now we know it's certainly okay. There is still a chance. Sion mid lane has been played in competitive play in some regions, so
oh boy,
we're not 100% clear. I wanted to say definitely top lane Sion, but let's see how much Kingzone want to play with the hearts and minds, because Trundle is locked in. It's been Untara's pick into Sion, largely has been successful. Will Kingzone, how many fast ones will Kingzone pull?
There are at least a couple of them, right? Is it going to be that AP Cog mid? Is it going to be the Sion mid? What's it going to be? It looks like it's just going to be normal if they lock this one in.
Let's wait and see. This is looking like a Sion mid lane.
Yeah.
And it will be Sion mid lane. Okay, so Sion mid is going to come out. It's been played in Korea a bit. It is the biggest blocker of interactions you can ever have. It's super, super safe as well. Very interesting. It could also be the Jace mid, which is a good pick into Rise as well in the early game. My instinct is it's going to be Sion, though. He can roar away the bannered up minions, the Baron minions. Let's wait and see, but Sion mid to me is the most likely.
Well, we saw BDD laughing about something, and it seems like this is what he found so amusing. They also get that last pick for the Khan. You were saying that's a possibility.
20 seconds.
It's going to be Khan up against Untara in the top lane. Most likely, Jace versus Trundle. Let's wait.
It was such an early Sion by Kingzone that we thought, what about support? Of course, facetiously, we wondered, would it be the time for AP Cog in the mid lane? That doesn't happen, but Sion mid lane, Rise is not going to have a lot of fun trying to push through the Sion damage. The bone plating might come in for even more reduction of damage. Bone plating, our new resident thing to complain about after all the changes. You look on the side of SKT, very strong 1-3-1, but not as strong as previously thought, because suddenly Untara's assignment got way harder. Trundle against a tank. We all know how that goes. Trundle against a Jace. Much different assignment.
I was looking at his face once they put him on. He looks very uncomfortable, Papa. I don't know if he's going to have a fun time here. We've already seen him have trouble. It was part of the reason why Tal came into the lineup in the first place, is Untara struggling up top against all these different picks. So tonight might be a bad night for him, and we might even see some substitutes. But let's not call it early. Let's see what happens.
It's so much control, and then prey on the Cogmore to be the artillery. A hype comp, it's new stuff. It's 8.4.
Let's do it, guys. We're going to start game number 1, SKT versus Kingzone Dragon X on the Rift right now.
Now, let's talk about other things, though, because one thing to discuss here is Untara will get no fun at all in the lane, is that there's not as many minion dematerialize in this game as NA and EU might have led you to believe. We had Trundle top lane in NA and EU pick up the minion dematerialize to help out with the late game. When Jace is in the game, Kingzone are not thinking about post 40 minutes. They're thinking about much earlier. So there will be less minion dematerialize. That might evolve. Of course, it depends how this week plays out. But we don't see as many of those to answer the super buffed up, the hot fixed minions with the Baron buff, and then the Banner of Command to add that extra oomph. And you talked about the top lane. Let's cover that as well. Khan against Untara. That was probably the reason that Untara didn't go to Worlds, because he showed he could not handle top lane carries like Khan. And that's why they preferred Huni. It gave them more options. At least the vision's been cleared.
Well, here we go. Realm Orb coming in. The pillar will be flashed. And so they get the flash out of Khan here in the trade for Faker's ultimate.
It will also cost him a minion wave in mid, and we know that Faker carries.
Mid laners, 80 carries taking it just because it's so strong. Here we go. They're actually going to engage here. That charge, both of them missing, and Faker just standing in the face of Peanut and BDD in the mid lane saying, ha, nice job, guys.
And that gank was largely to get at least a flash out of Faker. He gives up neither, with his ability to abstain and his ability to endure pressure. That means so much for the side lanes. It means so much for Untara, knowing there's no threat of a turret dive. And SKT, they know that there's no mana on Peanut. They start up the Drake.
Easiest Drake of their lives, gonna come in here, even if they were under vision. It doesn't really matter. So they
clearly want to increase the pace of the game, and like you mentioned, these three rotate through mid lane. If any of the ult cooldowns of either BDD or Peanut are off cooldown, you also have the death sentence to start things. Speaking of death sentence,
Wolf in a lot of trouble here. Doesn't have the help of his teammate. First blood goes down as Prey gonna pick that up. Nice chunk of gold to the bottom laner.
Ideal person to pick it up. Remember, because we have a mid lane Scion, we expect him to rotate first. He's gone for the Abyssal Mask first. That buffs up Prey's damage as well. Gonna be largely unkillable in the early game, and Rageblade already complete on both of the AD carries. All Blossom can do is on the other side of the map try to take an objective, because first turret going to Kingzone Dragon X.
We saw the stats before the game started. Kingzone is one of the best teams at creating a gold difference early on. They love to get aggressive and increase the pace of the game, as you said. They're doing just that. They get the first blood, they get the first blood turret. Now they're going for another engage here on a Faker. He doesn't have his flash anymore. They're trying to drag him out, and they do get him out of his realm morph. That's going to be another kill onto the mid laner of SKT. Kingzone looking to win this one very early.
And the timing there is why they showed so much aggression, why they were willing to flash. They just took bot lane turret. That unlocks the Thresh to roam. They're taking a second turret.
The Cogmaw working on it, but they decide against it as they see SKT coming in. They want to bait this, and Blossom, he bites the bait right into the team, is going to get taken out. Immediately taking out the jungler. Fantastic for Kingzone.
Someone had to check. That's how it happens. They knew it was likely to be started. Kingzone read how fast they were taking it, pulled away, and they're looking for a second turn.
I feel like they're almost playing with their food at this point. They're gonna hook Untara, and I'll see you later. Before that comes down, they trade onto Gorilla, and Faker is doing significant damage, but it's 3-on-4 at this point. Khan looking to get a triple kill of his own. Flashes away from SKT. Wolf looking to go down here. Faker trying to go 1v4 now. Very not looking good for him, but at least he does get away in the end. And so Kingzone continue on with their dominance in this game.
It's just such a beautiful draft. They have every option available. Jace grouping allows Scion to get in position to hit the first CC, and then Cogmaw will do the rest. They can play 1-3-1, they can play 4-1, they can group and siege. Beautiful construction by Kingzone, and SKT, from the time the first two turrets went down, would have felt this same lingering dread that Untara did when his team said, hey, could you please check the Baron? They had to know this would happen.
Yeah, it was Untara's turn next. The next one off the lifeboat, and down he did go. At least no Baron just yet. As you mentioned, those objectives are a lot stronger on this patch. It's going to be even scarier once Kingzone gets their hands on. We'll just have to wait and see. And now Blossom, he already used his flag, but he's going to get that up. They get on top of Bang here. The Cosmic Radiance will come just barely in time. But again, just trying not to die here is SKT. Untara on the back line. Peanut actually getting low here. They almost get him in a huge cataclysm from Blossom, but it's not enough as he just disappears. This is turning into the Faker show as people want him to carry. He's getting pretty close already.
Kingzone there made the mistake of over-investing when turret was grouped. The ult meant that no first pick could happen, and then they were exposed. They weren't fighting in the formation they intended to and drafted to in this comp. It goes 1-for-1. Kingzone know the playbook is get a single pick, then take Baron. They don't have the Baron speed to try to rush it. They couldn't fully disengage. And you notice that Prey can't actually move up and use his Hurricane on multiple members because Untara gets into the backline. How can you ever get into the backline against Kingzone in a normal fight? You can't. When they're this far under the inner turret, you can. So they're not able to get them at full value. And a couple of mistakes like that, and that sliver of hope for SKT.
It's going to be rough if they can't deny that from Kingzone.
So what does Kingzone do to move forward their gameplay if it's not just rush into a team fight? Remember that Trundle can't side lane. Is there enough damage here? Probably not.
Maybe they bait Kingzone in, but actually Khan coming from the top side. They want to get Blossom down, and just before the Cosmic Radiance, and a failed flash here from Wolf. Looks like he's going to be going down as well. Couple of kills go over to Cogmaw, and Blossom in a wonky spot there, just getting caught up.
Yeah, Kingzone don't even have to play the side lanes. They were set up to because Trundle can't side lane in this game. If you get the picks, then you can skip over that step. Bit of easy extra gold comes in for Kingzone. Also the Baron, Untaro would love to interrupt, but Kingzone will finish it off.
Yeah, they're trying to come on in here. Let's see what Faker can do. He's dodging everything, and BDD is going to go down. The exhaust comes down here on a Faker, but he wants to turn around somehow. Let's see if he can do just that. It looks like he's just going to give it up as the Baroness come in, and now Kingzone's push will begin.
Yeah, BDD gave up his life just to stop Rise from getting into the Baron pit and stopping some act of God taking the Baron away. So he gave up his life to delay time to get the Baron buff. Only the first of the game. 28 minutes in, the Baron is received, and already the playstyle playing side lanes with Trundle struggling. The struggle streak's just going to be even more visited here for the side of SKT because Baron is finally achieved by Kingzone at 28 minutes. Blossom walks up. He's the one who needs to face check. And even through the EQ, look at how much damage Prey is able to do. Actually able to close out the damage half a second before the Cosmic Radiance does arm, and then from there, Wolf out of position. The Baron registers.
Then Blossom hops the wall, looking for the steal here. Looks like Kingzone is actually going to respect this for now. Prey stepping forward, and the three-man Cataclysm again. This is good with that Cosmic Radiance, and they're trying to come in here, but Chase from behind. Wolf getting low.
No threat on Prey.
They want to get onto BDD, but it's not enough. Prey is just doing free damage in the back, and now Faker finally goes down. It's going to be a full wipe. The ace comes through. The teleport coming in. Kingzone looking to push this one in.
And the best thing is that they were the first team to play Scion mid when it was Rocks Tigers, then Coup Tigers in 2015. They roll it back. BDD this time on the Scion. It's still about the Kog'Maw, but a mid-game Kog'Maw comp where he can walk up after the few buffs. There was no threat on him, and that's why it didn't matter about anyone else. It was always going to be Kog'Maw taking it down.
And they're going for the victory, Papa. They got the Baron, they have the Banner of Command, and when you get a full ace here, it looks like it's going to be the end. Already clapping coming out of Prey. That's going to be a 31-minute victory here, unless Blossom can pull off a miracle. They're just playing with their food. That's going to do it. Not wanting to kill the Nexus. They're giving kills away just to BM SKT right now. 31 minutes, 15 seconds is the victory for Kingzone.
What a beautiful draft from Kingzone. We wondered, moving on to 8.4, this team was the best. 8.4 could represent a nerf to them. Based on game one, you certainly can't say that. The look of horror on Untaro's face after the draft of the Scion mid let them know that he would just never have a role this